Yeah, it's recording. Right, no YouTube. It's bugs. Right, I've had a topic on my head now for a good few days. I wanted to make video for a long time, but with a daughter, fucking house, job, as you can guess, it's kind of very hard to. I did have a good idea for a topic like 2 days ago, which was to do a load of questions, which I am going to do, promise people. I've got them all saved on my phone, stupid questions, even though I was kind of expecting normal questions, but still. This is a very awkward, not talked about topic, and I can understand why people do it. Well, don't talk about it, sorry. And I don't know how to word it correctly so it doesn't sound wrong, but I have a very emotional connection and past with this type of topic, and I know two things will probably happen due to this. One, I will probably have a lot of pissed off family members, and two, I will probably end up crying at some point through this video, as I nearly end up in tears 3 or 4 times today thinking about it, because of how much I want to do this video. And I know for a fact it's going to be a good 5-10 minutes of me on and off going to click the upload button for this, because I know it could probably cause a lot of shit, because I've said a lot of times that I haven't, and I have, but I haven't in a long time. I'm gonna say that it's been a good, probably just under a year since I last did. But I want to talk about it because of I've been through it in the past, and I'd like to try and help people if there's somebody out. Well, there's obviously somebody else out there who's got the same situation as me. Just I know many mates have, and even with how awkward this is going to be for everyone who sees this, one, I hope you just don't screw at me, though I know quite a few people know I have. Two, I'd like this video to be shared to everyone and anyone you know, because I want to be able to show how hard this is to talk about, for one, and to try and help as many people as possible to know that they aren't the only people in the world that are like this, as I found out through some of my mates who I met due to this subject. And the subject is self-harming. It's a very complicated situation that people go through, and I probably got a good 7 or 8, maybe more mates who do it, and I have done it in the past, and there's many reasons to why people do this. Some people do it because they think it's fun to do, some people do it for adrenaline, some people do it because they just see it's the right thing to do at times. Some people start doing it because they don't understand the concept of self-harming, and then they get bullied and it causes them to do it more, which can lead then to even more worse things like suicide, of which I've had past experience of people do, and it's not nice, it really isn't. I've had 2 mates, which I think probably one person, maybe two people know about, that I met on self-harm websites and suicide websites. I haven't tried suicide, just to clear that out, but I've done it through when I was going through the stage of self-harm, of curiosity and like wondering if there's anybody out there that does it for the same reason I do, and they ended up getting too deep into it and did end up committing suicide, which I ended up finding out through one of their friends and one of their family members, which wasn't the nicest thing. This probably was over a year or 2 ago when it happened, but yeah, hope they're resting in peace, preferably. But it isn't a fun thing. There is a lot of reasons for it, and I know people who do it because of many different things. Mine was due to, I used to use it as a way to block mental pains. Well, not mental pains as such, but if you can understand what I mean, it'll make it a lot easier. But when you have something on your mind and you physically can't get it out and it hurts that much, that I used to use it to block physical pains because I find it really hard to talk. Which, to be honest, through this video it probably won't look that way, but yeah, it's the truth. God. My mind's completely gone blank. I sat thinking at work about this for a good probably 4 hours, nearly crying. Well, I say sitting, doing my job, just completely dazed out. The day flew by. But yeah, one of the main things with self-harming is if you know someone who does it or thinks they do it, wrong context of saying it, don't force them to tell you why, because it doesn't help. If you want to know why, just ask them in the nicest possible way. Don't make it like you're demanding it. Just be like, is there something up? Do you want someone to talk to? Do you want to talk to me? Don't go around being like, what's up? Tell me what's wrong, something wrong, because it doesn't help. It makes it a lot more harder because it puts the person on the spot. If they ain't ready to talk, don't try and force them to, because it will make the shit a lot worse. And that is a definite thing, it will make shit a lot fucking worse, I can tell you now. Mainly I want to get out there because, like, obviously I haven't done it in a long time, so it kind of doesn't matter so much, though there's people out there that I know, mum and dad preferably, the other family members will be like, well, it is a big matter, you used to. And yeah, I used to, I'm going to own up to that. But the thing is, it's one of them really tough subjects that you need to be careful with. Because yes, it can cause a lot of stuff, it can cause a lot of pain to people around you, a lot of disappointment, which I know I'm going to get posting this, which is why it's going to take me a long time to do it. I don't even know how long I've thought about doing a video like this, even before I was into vlogging. But I want to be able to do it, and I'm hoping to maybe get a couple mates on another video, whether they do a video like I do for me to upload, or whether it's just a case of they're talking to the camera for me and I blur out them and change their voice so people don't know who they are. Because of the situation, they probably won't want the grief that it could cause, as I know this can probably cause a lot of grief for me. Just so there's more people out there, so they can see, well, people can see who's in this same situation, that it is a tough subject and that there is people out here that want to try and help. And if there is someone who's watching these videos in this situation and would like someone to talk to with the past experience and history of the same kind of thing, please feel free to message me on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. I'll put all my details in the bottom. Or if you're a girl and you don't feel comfortable talking to me as such, if you ask me, I'll see if there's one of my girl mates that I know who's done it in the past, whether they'll be comfortable to speak to you. I'm not doing this for attention of any form, as I know some people do, but I know quite a few people who are still through this situation, and I want to help as many people as possible, as I'm sick and tired of seeing people going through it and nobody doing anything or trying to and giving up. because it isn't going to help. It will end up down the same road of they'll either just continue doing it for the rest of their life and causing themselves a lot of damage and harm, or the worst scenario of suicide, which it isn't a pleasant thing. I had a mate when I was about 12, so his name, I ain't going to name last names, but his name was Bailey. He lived just round the back from mine. I was about probably 13, 14 at the time, I reckon, so I reckon there was a good few years between me and him. He was probably about 9, I reckon, and his mum had a lot of problems going on at the time. If you see this video, I am sorry that I'm mentioning this, but and he didn't exactly have the nicest thing to come home to one day. I ain't going to go into details, but I'm just going to keep it at that. Luckily, he had family members there to help support him through the situation. I don't know whether there was self-harm to go through with it as well, but it weren't nice to see how it changed this kid's life. I hope he's still alright, as I haven't seen him in a good few years. The last time I did see him, though, he did look like he was coping fairly well. It's amazing how when you go to talk about something like this, your mind just goes completely blank. I had so many topics to talk about, why it happens, why some people get into it, and I can't even think of any of it anymore. Yeah, main point is, if you know anybody that does do it, or you think does it, don't force them to tell you. Question. Right, the video stopped for some unknown reason, but as I was saying, question it softly, seriously, and tread softly around them. If anything, I know it sounds harsh in a way, but don't mention it, it's kind of awkward. Although, to be honest, that is a bad thing to say, so just completely ignore that. God, there's going to be so many silent parts in this video. I'm sorry for that. And yeah, I've moved down because I've just realised watching the rest of the video to see what did save that I'm like missing half my face or all of it through half of the video, well, most of the video. But I'm not going to re-record it because I know if I try to, I probably just won't. But, right, my main point is ignoring everyone else at the moment. I'm mainly talking to you, whoever's watching this, if you do self-harm. Please, I know it's hard, but stop, you'll feel a lot better, I can tell you that now. It's amazing how much of a difference it takes. I know it's hard, it's addictive. As weird as it sounds, if you've never done it, you won't understand. It's more addictive than a drug. I don't know, because I can't say from past experiences, I haven't done any, but it is addictive. And it's one of them things that you'll instantly switch to. I know that it's easy enough to hide something to use to do it. It's very simple to do. It's a very easy thing to fall back on, just like a teddy when you're a child. You're upset, you have a nightmare, you'll turn straight to that one thing. I can say this honestly, as I still have mine here. The thing never leaves my side. But it is an easy thing to fall into. You try it once, and there is the odd people it don't stick to, I will say that. I'm not going to say that everyone gets addicted, but I'd say a good 70%, 80% of the people I know who've done it still do it now. And it is purely because of the way it makes you feel. It does kind of stop the whole world for that split moment in time and opens your eyes. It's weird. And saying it in that context of opening your eyes would make you think, well, if it opens your eyes, why do it? Why do you continue to? And that's where it comes back to the whole, it is addictive. It solves so many little things. It's a really weird situation that you go through. But as bad as it sounds, it does help. It helps mentally. It doesn't help physically, and it doesn't help mentally completely, but it helps enough to get through the day. I'm hoping, even if only 2 people see this video, that it might open one of them people's eyes open, and they might try and do something to try to help someone who's in a situation that I was in, because it does help. And at times, just to be able to have someone sit next to you and not even say a word can do a lot more than asking a question. Just knowing that someone's there next to you to be there with you through the situation can help, because it's one of them weird things that people say where actions can be louder than words, and it is true. This is one of them situations where actions do a lot more than words can sometimes. Yes, you might know someone who does it, and you've been trying for months, weeks, years, and you're at the point where you want to strangle them to death. But if you have, just try there, sit there, and if they're in a situation where you think they might, if you know they definitely do, just hold them close. And as cheesy as it sounds, hold them close, tell them it'll be okay, that you'll be there with them to get them through it, because that can do a lot more help than calling up a suicide hotline or a self-harm hotline, going on websites. Because yes, it helps the person who's doing the self-harm if they're the ones doing that, because they connect with people that are going through the same situation. But because you're going through the same situation, you feel their pain, and then it can cause you to self-harm for their sake, which isn't going to help. Which is why, in my eyes, it'd be better if you, not being up my own arse or anything about it, but come to someone like me, or one of my mates, or someone that you know that's been through it and has stopped. But if you do know anyone that definitely does, or you might have a feeling, or if you do yourself, please feel free to contact me on Facebook or YouTube. I have 5 different YouTubes. The main one I use is, I would say, my vlogging one, which I'm uploading to. I am planning to use this more often. If you can't see it and I forget to upload it in the bottom, there's youtube.com/theurbanrunnervlogger, youtube.com/theurbanrunner, youtube.com/bugsrunnergaming, and then my Facebook account, is facebook.com/theurbanrunner. It's fairly simple enough to remember, as they're all consoled around the Urban Runner, or even easier if you put my name in, Sean Chin, SeanChinn on YouTube, or Bugs Runner, BUGGSRUNNER on YouTube. You're bound to come across my account. There's like 200-300 videos pop up with my name. Most of my accounts, if you do that, come up saying that Bugs Runner is the hyperlink for the account user. Click on one, drop a message, and I will get back to you as soon